Good evening students, welcome back. I am making this video for standard 11. Subject is economics. This is chapter number 2 and the name of the chapter is Central Problems of an Economy. This is the first part of my video. Now let's start. In the previous chapters we had read about various things such as scarcity, such as choice, consumption, production, positive economics, normative economics and various other things. Today's chapter is related to the central problem, means what are the main problems of an economy, that we will discuss. The main problems that a producer faces at the course of production. All these things we will see in this chapter. So without wasting time, let's start. Now the central problem of an economy always starts with an economic problem. Every economy has some or the other economic problem. Every economy, every individual has economic problem. What is the economic problem? Economic problem is our unlimited wants. The unlimited wants that cannot be satisfied with the limited resources. Wants are unlimited, but resources are limited. Wants are unlimited, but resources are limited. In this case, the economic problems will always arise. When one want is satisfied, another want automatically takes its place. And if the want is satisfied, it is satisfied only for some particular period. And after the period is over, again a new want rises. And which is sometimes very difficult to be satisfied. In a market, do you think that everything that you will require, you will get? No. Everything, every time, everywhere you will get? No. Why you will not get? Because the resources are scarce. This is the only problem. This economic problems always has a direct link with the scarcity, and this particular, why there is scarcity? Because there is choice. When a shopkeeper shows one commodity to a person, it may happen that the commodity may or may not be liked by that particular person. He may want some alternative choices. He may want to see some other options. Why? Because there is a factor of choice. By showing one commodity, a person may not be satisfied. So he has to present multiple commodities to satisfy the wants of that particular customer. And the main problem is faced by the producer, because the producer has to produce that particular commodity by seeing the demands of the market, the taste preferences in the market. And it is very dangerous thing. It is very means you can say it is quite natural and quite unfortunate thing is that the taste and preferences also changes with time. We are in 2020. Now our style, our dress, do we wear the same dresses and keep the same hairstyles as in 1960s the heroes or the actors or the actresses used to keep? No. Why? Because the taste, the choice, the preferences have already changed. And this is the problem, and this where the economic problem arises. What are the causes? We will look into the causes at now. Number one, unlimited wants. Number one, unlimited wants. Wants are always unlimited. That I had already said you. Number two, limited resources. Resources are always limited. The resources are so limited that it cannot satisfy each and every want of every individual. Number three, alternative uses of resources. If there are resources available, now what is the resource? Now you will ask me, sir, what is resource? Resource means actually, you may say the natural resources. It is also the human resources. There are natural resources, there are human resources. In an economy, in a country, suppose there are 20 crore workers. Now that 20 crore workers are are working in different sectors. and in different sectors they are working in different type of industries. Okay, it is not possible to employ the total means that 20 crore workers. I cannot took the entire and put it only on a particular sector and the other sectors I will stop. No, I cannot do that. Because every sector is important and production, so that is why what is happening, that 20 crore workforce is divided into different sectors. That is why the resources are limited. So there, this factor, the alternative uses of resources. Resources are used in alternative way, the natural resources. The wood is used for different purposes. For cooking, for furniture, for this, for that. For different purposes the woods are used. But the supply is limited. Here, the problem arises. Now the central problems. What are the central problems of the economy? What are the central problems that every producer faces? Okay, who faces the central problem? The producer. The first problem that a producer faces always, that is what to produce. This is the main role of an entrepreneur, a producer, the fourth pillar of the factors of production, that what to produce, what I will produce, what is the demand in the market, what are the choice of the person, what commodity I should produce so that I could satisfy the wants. This is the biggest question that the producer has to find the answer. So this is the first central problem of an economy, what to produce. Second, how to produce. Whenever a producer is producing a commodity, a producer has to think on various aspects, not on which way I will produce that particular commodity. That means what techniques I will use. Labor intensive technique or capital intensive technique. In a country like India, if more and more emphasis will be given on the labor intensive technique, then the cost of production will be high. Commodities cannot be available at a cheap price because the cost of labor is very high. It may happen that the unemployment problem will solve at a large extent, but simultaneously one problem will come, that is the cost of production will become high. Why? The volume of production will be low as the work will be done by hand, and as a result of that, cost of production will be high, which will make the commodities expensive, in which the poor people will face the problem to purchase the commodities. This is the biggest problem with the labor intensive technique. Now you will tell, sir, then move to the capital intensive techniques. Very good. Capital intensive technique, if we will move in a country like India where the population is 137 crores, more 60% of the population will be unemployed. There also the poverty will rise. So what we have to do, what is the solution of that? Is that we have to maintain the balance between the capital as well as the labor intensive techniques. So this way, the how to produce these questions is answered, that we have to distribute in a ratio basis. Third, for whom to produce. If I am producing a commodity, for whom I will produce a particular commodity, this question has to be answered. If a car manufacturer is manufacturing a car whose each car prices suppose 1 crore rupees, the price of each car is 1 crore rupees, is it possible that even the middle class or the upper middle class can purchase the 1 crore rupee car? No. It will be only available so that there will be limited buyers. What happens is that this is the third central problem, that is for whom to produce, where there are variation of choices, variation of demands, variation of tastes, variation of preferences, different consumer, different taste, different choice, different preference. what I will satisfy, how I will satisfy, in which way I will satisfy. Because everything has to be kept in mind. That is quality, that is quantity, then price. Each and every factor has to be kept in mind. So by this way, these are the central problems in which a producer, a consumer, as well as an economy, both are getting mixed. Everyone is confused in this economy that what way these central problems can be solved. Now, in order to solve these central problems, how this can be solved? The better way is that make a survey. A survey is very essential. In a big market, the survey is very essential where there are mixed group of people. Higher income groups, middle income groups, lower income groups. So, a survey has to be made that what are the main demands in the market. And the producer has to produce the goods according to that. So this way, these central problems of an economy can be solved. So in this part, we had discussed about the economic problem, that is mainly the problem of choice. Why? Because the resources, because the scarcity, because the resources, every resource have the alternative uses. Causes, we have already discussed, unlimited wants. Number 2, limited resources. Number 3, alternative uses of resources. And we have seen the central problems that are faced by a producer in an economy, that is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So all these things were discussed in today's class. So with this, I am coming to the end of part 1. I will release the part 2 video very soon. Till then, stay safe.